So this is video 3 of 10.1. We're looking at significant tests for P1 minus P2. I'll let you get that here in a second. This is just our example. I thought I'd put it ahead of time. So what we're looking at is we're going to say H naught, and that's going to be defined as P1 minus P2 is equal to our hypothesized value. Okay. We can also, you might see our H naught as P1 equals P2. All right. So depending on what we're going to have, you could either have it as P1 is equal to this, P1 is equal to P2, or you could have P1 minus P2 is equal to 0, meaning is there a difference? Is there something that we could see? But usually not. This one we'll use quite often. Excuse me. This one we won't see too much, but if you go to biology and stuff, you might see it. So that's equal to. Okay. So then our alternative hypothesis is obviously just going to be P1 minus P2 less than or greater than or not equal to the hypothesized value. So that means we can also have P1 is less than P2 or P1 is greater than P2 or P1 does not equal P2. So we have all those possibilities that we can have, just like what we've had in our other significance tests that we've done. Okay. Now, all our conditions still have to be met. Okay. So randomness, independence, large numbers, and our 10% condition all have to be met. All right? Okay. So let's look at an example. I think I can barely squeeze it in there. So this is hearing loss. Our teenagers going deaf. In a study of 3,000 randomly selected teenagers in 1988 to 1994, 15% showed some hearing loss. In a similar study of 1,800 teenagers in 2005 to 2006, 1995, or 1995, how about 19.5% showed some hearing loss. Some. Do these data give convincing evidence that the proportion of all teens with hearing loss has increased? So we are going to state the hypothesis we are interested in testing and define any parameters. Okay, so let's do that real quick. So we're going to have H naught. We're going to have alternative hypothesis. So we're going to have P1 minus P2 is equal to 0 because we're looking to see if there's a difference between them. So usually if there's a difference we're looking at, or if there's an increase, we're going to make it equal to 0. Okay? So you could also write it as H naught P1 is equal to P2. So that means that there's not a hearing loss, that they're just all the same. All right? So our alternative hypothesis is saying that P1 minus P2 is greater than 0. Or H naught, alternative hypothesis, P1 is less than P2. And then I got to define my parameters. Now, usually if I have like male and female, I'll say like P of M, meaning male, and then P of F, a female. But since, it's hard to put a number in there because it's 1998 and 2000. So I guess you could say P1 is the proportion of teenagers from 1988 to 1994 with hearing loss. And then P2 is the proportion of teenagers from 2005 to 2006 with hearing loss. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video here and I'll continue on with the next one right afterwards. This way hopefully it doesn't take so long to load up. Okay. I'll give you all the answers before I stop it.